May the sand be with you.
So here we are in Jerba after a 3-hour flight from Brussels, and we are arriving here with a group of 18 pioneers, and we will discover the island of Jerba but also the mainland of Tunisia in hopes of finding the locations used by George Lucas to recreate the scenes of Tatooine in the Star Wars saga. So come on, follow me. So here we are after a serious drive on the moped. We've arrived at the ferry port of Ajim, and we are now at the very first location here in Ajim that was used 30-odd years ago by George Lucas and his crew. It's the Mos Eisley Cantina, a scum of Hyven villainy.
In the alley behind the cantina, we spotted the place seen in A New Hope when the Falcon blasts out of Mos Eisley, escaping the Empire with their precious cargo.
After visiting the cantina in Ajim, we drive back to the north, and at a certain point we encounter a well-known dwelling. This was once inhabited by an old Jedi Master, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, as you can see, this is supposed to be in the Jundland Wastes, but in actuality it is a small fisherman's house on the side of the sea.
It's quite beautiful. Great here.
Even further to the north is a temple known as the Marabou of Sidi Jamour. It features in A New Hope as the Mos Eisley outskirts buildings. It's even better known to fans as the notorious Tashi Station, where Luke says goodbye to his friend Biggs Darklighter. Lucas decided not to restore the scene in the special edition, but it can be found on the Behind the Magic CD-ROM. The next location on our trip takes us to the Ksar Ouled Sultan. It's a fortified grain storage facility built on the top of a hill to protect it from the Tuaregs. It is rumored that part of this Tsar was filmed to use as a backdrop of the Mozespa slave quarters in The Phantom Menace. The brilliance of George Lucas is amazing. I mean, he finds these places, but moreover he creates names for locations and planets and creatures, and I just don't know where he gets his ideas.
Behind me is the balcony in Ksar Hadada that was used for the shot where Qui-Gon Jinn and Shmi Skywalker are talking about the parentage of Anakin Skywalker. Unfortunately, the hotel is being completely rebuilt, so nothing will be left in a short period of time.
Our next stop takes us to the town of Matmata. Here, we will locate what many consider to be the holy grail of Star Wars, the Hotel Sid Idris. This hotel was used by Lucasfilm to double for the Lars homestead. The set dressing is still in place because it was only recently used to shoot Attack of the Clones. And we even arranged to have dinner in the infamous pit dwelling.
We are gathered here today at the Sid Idris Hotel in Matmata, which is the Lars homestead, and we are here with 18 pioneers who wanted to experience the Star Wars tours. So thank you. I'm standing at the Shot El Jarit, which is an immense salty plain. There's nothing here for miles and miles. This is literally the middle of nowhere. And we're trying to trek across it because over there, once we arrive, we will visit a mountain range. And in that mountain range, it's called Jebel Kirfane. And we're going to visit that because there are multiple Star Wars locations over there. That's why we call it the Star Wars Canyon.
It was used for several scenes, such as the capture of R2-D2 at the Jabba Rock and the scene where Luke is attacked by Sand People and later revived by Ben Kenobi. The crew then moved to the rim of the canyon for the shot where Ben delivers his infamous line about Mos Eisley. Not many people are aware of this, but Lucasfilm returned to this place years later to film the Tusken Raider that shoots at the pod racers in Episode 1.
So after the canyon, we drove all the way west past the towns of Tozur and Nefta to arrive here in the desert. And here, this is the Dune Sea. Come on. As the wind changes the location every 20 minutes, you'll never find the desert the same. You'll never be able to line up the shot with the pictures that you see in the books or in the movie. You know? You just have to trust the GPS locator that this is the spot. Okay. All right? Enjoy. So we're standing here on Great Dragon Ridge, and if you're lucky, you can dig out one of the fiberglass pieces that was used as a skeleton of the Great Dragon.
3 kilometers along the dirt track in the Salty Flats, we find a building that looks exactly like the one used in A New Hope, but was rebuilt for Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. This is the Lars exterior. For Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, the Skywalker Dome, the Hydroponics Garden and the man-made craters were recreated and rebuilt in the exact same spot as in 1976 for A New Hope. It was only a matter of adding vaporators here and there in the background to give it that very alien look. It's a long wait for the sun to actually set on this location, but it's well worth it. When you are here, you cannot resist the urge to strike a pose at the crater and feel Luke's longing for a more exciting future. So here we are at the Chott El Garsa, literally in the middle of nowhere. It's a desert strip northwest of Tozur. Behind me is the Camelhead Rock, Onk Shmel in Arabic. In The Phantom Menace, when Darth Maul's spaceship lands here, then you can see him send out the Sith probes to hunt down Amidala and her young friends. And then you can see Darth Maul standing right over here. When later on we see Darth Maul flying off the cliff with the speeder bike, Lucasfilm revisited this location, but they simply inverted the image. And that, my friends, is movie magic.
That's great.
Unfortunately, the desert has claimed most of the Repro Hadada set. We are standing now in a field of Yardang, which are typical rock formations. They're actually just sand. They look like big noses turned upside down. This field was used for 2 shots in The Phantom Menace. On my left-hand side, we have the landing gantry of the Royal Naboo starship, and on my right-hand side, the field was used to shoot the duel between Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul.
We've just walked for 500 meters, leaving the Yardang field behind us, and just round the bend, behind the dunes, is Mos Espa.
The pioneers have seen many great things so far, but this beats everything. In the middle of the desert is built a small village of wood and plaster. It is no larger than 4 streets and 2 squares, but this is the highlight of the trip for many. The last day we drove all the way to Medellin, that has a very large souk, a marketplace. It is an unparalleled tourist trap. The souk is of no interest to us, but the alley behind the marketplace is Skywalker Alley. Here the scenes were shot of Anakin saying goodbye to his mother and taking his first steps into a larger universe. This is the actual door to the home of Shmi Skywalker. After a very exciting week, our trip came to an end. The 18 pioneers that came from all over the world took with them countless photographs of memorable moments, priceless souvenirs, but most important of all, 18 everlasting friendships that were forged here on this trip to Tatooine. It proves that Star Wars is a global phenomenon and that the Force truly binds us together. May the sand be with you.